Today we're celebrating the feast of St. John Henry Newman, who, unusually for a saint, began his spiritual journey in the Church of England. Intellectually brilliant, he became an Anglican clergyman and worked in the University of Oxford, this university here, as a fellow of Oriel College. He rose to prominence in the Church of England and became a key member of the Oxford movement, which attempted to encourage and support Catholic spirituality within the Church of England. Subsequently, he left the Church of England, however, and was received into full communion with the Catholic Church by Blessed Dominic Barbary. A period of study in Rome followed, after which he was ordained priest in 1847. Upon his return to England, he established the oratory in Birmingham and became an influential writer on many subjects, notably the development of doctrine, conscience, faith and reason, the role of the laity, and university education. In 1879, he was made cardinal by Pope Leo XIII. He died in Birmingham on 1870 and was beatified, you'll recall, by Pope Benedict on the 19th of September 2010. Pope Francis canonized him in October 2019, and he will soon be proclaimed a Doctor of the Church. So clearly, Cardinal Newman enjoyed a distinguished career, and doubtless his works have helped many. But I think it's the concept of truth, both the quest for truth and the dissemination of truth, which unites Newman's complex life and which provides the key insight which Newman can offer for us today. Take Newman's quest for truth. As a prominent Oxford academic and a leading Anglican clergyman, Newman had much to lose in becoming a Catholic in 19th century Britain. Status, a home, and a job, to say the least. Those were things which he would lose in virtue of becoming a Catholic. It's difficult to understand why he would have taken that step, other than he had realized that the fullness of truth he sought was only to be found in the Catholic Church. Commitment to truth always entails a cost. Newman was willing to pay that cost and thus take the then challenging step of leaving his friends in the Church of England and entering the Catholic Church. Furthermore, Newman didn't stop there. Having received the fullness of truth, he sought to pass it on to others. Thus, he founded the Birmingham Oratory, and he continued his writing career, each task in its own way, contributing to the dissemination of truth which he had received. And this commitment to truth is something we ought to admire. Truth perfects the intellect. It is, or ought to be, something we value in virtue of being human and therefore made in the image of God. We do ourselves a disservice if we settle for less than truth in mundane matters. But truth is even more important for the fundamental questions of human life. How ought we to behave? Does God exist? What does God reveal about his nature? What is the goal of human life? How does God help us achieve that goal? If we fail to attain truth in matters such as these, then not only do we do ourselves a disservice, but potentially we may end up paying a more serious price. Some of these truths we can establish for ourselves, if we have the aptitude and the time to pursue the study necessary to attain them. But they're always hard to attain, whatever our gifts and abilities. Some of those truths, on the other hand, we couldn't attain through our own aptitude and ability, no matter how much time we had to spend trying to attain them. And we can only receive them through God's revelation in Christ. Fortunately, all of these truths are communicated to us through Christ. Through Christ we receive the fullness of that truth. Yet, like Newman, we incur an obligation to pass that truth on which we have received. The first reading from Timothy warns us about the dangers of false teaching and the need to have teachers of the truth. We should not be found wanting. That's as true as it was at the time of Timothy, as it is for all of us today. We who have received the truth have an obligation to pass it on to others. Therefore, let us not be found short in that, and let us imitate Cardinal Newman in passing on the fullness of truth to those we